Welcome back, and thank you for staying with eNCA. Now, let's take you to our senior reporter, Aviwe Mtila, who is outside City Hall in the mother city. Of course, members of parliament from different political parties are arriving out there. Aviwe, only about 20-something minutes remain before the Section 89 report debate begins there. What have people been telling you?
Well, interesting conversations that are happening outside the City Hall, where it's the temporary home of the Parliament. Yeah, we do understand, of course, 2 o'clock is where we're expecting that Section 89 inquiry to be put in motion, the debate around that Phala Phala saga, and whether further investigations should happen, kicks off at 2 o'clock. Of course, we do expect also that vote that will be done publicly, crucial, given that some of the MPs here are reluctant. We've been having the murmurs on the ground. In fact, these MPs are now having those final conversations around. In fact, I'm spotting Supra Mahumapilo, one of the four. Remember, earlier on, there was that caucus of the ANC, and I'm reliably informed that the people inside there, while Gwede Mantashe was telling the parliamentarians of the African National Congress to toe the party line and reject this motion that is to adopt this report, 4 people stood up and made it clear that they won't toe the party line. They will vote with their own conscience. One of them is the person that you see in shot there, Supra Mahumapilo. The other is Dr. Zweli Mkhize. The other being Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, as well as Lindy Wesisulu. The 4 people that made it clear that this won't be like the NEC meeting where you basically told us what to do. Here we're in Parliament, and in fact we'll do what we believe is right. And of course they have made it clear in there that they won't toe the party line. In fact, I'll try to get some more voices outside. Yeah, we see Peter Cronenwald, Dr. Cronenwald. Just a quick one. We're heading in Parliament now. There is, of course, the vote that's supposed to be tabled today. How do you feel it should go, firstly, as the FF+?
Well, if you say how it should go, of course, there's going to be a debate on it. And what we would want to see is that the members, especially from the ANC, that their conscience will determine that they are accountable to the people of South Africa and that they will support the report from the panel.
Should it not go then the way that you'd hope that it would go, and of course that motion is not adopted, what are the other avenues you as the opposition or parliamentarians will be exploring?
Well, firstly, say for instance, and we believe that is what the ANC said, that they're not going to support the report. Then, of course, we will still have to wait to see. Remember, there's an investigation from the Hawks. It's an investigation from the Public Protector. We're waiting for a report from the Reserve Bank. And we will have to get those reports. And then we will have to see what comes from that and take further steps depending on what is in those reports.
All right, thank you very much. In fact, I'm supporting the Transport Minister, Fikile Malula. Mnomkhulu, thank you for joining us at eNCA. Of course, when it comes to the ANC, they've told their parliamentarians to toe the party line, but we do know there are those that spoke against it in the caucus itself. What are the consequences for your likes of your Supra Mahumapilo or your Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, who've said it outright that they'll vote with their conscience instead of what the party says?
Well, thank you very much. We will cross that line when we get there. We don't know what's going to happen. We see a lot of talk and talk. What we know is what the ANC taught us. We are not here for ourselves. We are here for the movement. The differences that we have in relation to this matter at the National Executive Committee will be buried there at the level of the NEC. Not here. Here. We are here to serve our people, and the ANC has never mandated us to come here and vote with the opposition. So we don't have that mandate with us. It doesn't have to be set by any structure. Our primary mandate of being in Parliament is to sustain the agenda of the ANC of remaining in power forever, and not to work with opponents of the ANC here to undermine the ANC intentions in terms of this part of the legislation. So we are very clear about where we are going from here.
These people seem to suggest that it's not about voting with the opposition, but more about doing what they feel is right. They feel that the president should be held accountable openly. Well, in fact, those allegations should be investigated transparently, and it comes to a bottom line of whether there is merit to them or not. Why would then the ANC tell people not to vote with their conscience and toe the party line, which is seemingly defending the president at this stage?
President is being held accountable through this debate. The fact that this matter will be debated, the opposition will raise their views, and everybody else, and the ANC will articulate its viewpoint in terms of this particular matter. That is accountability. The ANC has not run away from this. We are just exercising our right in terms of us being the ruling party and what is expected of us. And the matter in itself doesn't say the president have done anything wrong. It says it may, and it points to the fact that the matters must be followed up. You don't deal with matters in a piecemeal. There is a process of the law enforcement agencies. There is a process of the public protector. There is the process of the panel.
But the parliament itself should hold the president accountable. Shouldn't it then let the processes unfold where it's investigated by parliament if there are any merits to these allegations?
Parliament is dealing with the matter in terms of what it is within its powers. The panel is one of those. And in this particular instance, the panel have completed its work. And the panel have completed its work and presented to Parliament. And Parliament is faced with two choices, to accept or to reject. And in terms of those particular processes, it is what comes with the outcome of what the panel has actually done and in terms of the way forward. So the debate process in itself, it's accountability, and that is it.
Senior leaders are speaking out against what the party should say. Mankosazana Dlamini Zuma, Lindiwe Sisulu, Zweli Mkhize, Supra Mahumapilo. What does this say about the ANC and what's happening inside the party if these senior leaders are saying we won't listen to the party, we'll vote according to how we feel we should vote?
Well, we have been here before. We have had such instances. And one member of the ANC who decided to vote with the so-called conscience was disciplined and left the ANC. And the others who voted secretly, only one came out in the secret ballot vote and said that I voted this way against Jacob Zuma. And the ANC then dealt with that matter through the party disciplinary processes. Democratic centralism in terms of the philosophy of our party. Even if you disagree with the matter and so on, but if the party have said we take this line, we follow the line, and then you will go back to the party to reopen the matter. We have been here before. People differed with eNCA, and then the approach we have taken, ad hoc committees and all of that, and then we had to go back to the party, and then we came here, we toed the line and defended the president. Now, in this particular instance, the matters are not even conclusive. They are not even conclusive. And then we want them to say particular processes must unfold, which in this instance will kick into action issues of impeachment of the president. The ANC, as a party, will take a decision about what must happen to its president. It will not go out of its way to impeach its own president. If it has to take a decision about the president based on the processes that are there in terms of the law, public protector and so on, the ANC will do so. And then the ANC will not succumb its strategic initiative in terms of what it is expected of it here in Parliament and then give it to the opposition. The opposition have got its own agenda. And the ANC at all levels can take decision about what must happen to the president and so on. All what we are saying, this process is not conclusive. There are other agencies that are dealing with the matter, and then we will consider these issues as and when we get there. The choice of working against the party and openly It's a choice of members. But at the end of the day, here where we are as members of parliament, we have been told that here is the line and we are going to toe the line and we will not deviate from that.
What does it say then when these senior leaders speak out against the party ahead of the elective conference? Isn't that detrimental for the party itself, given that your Dr. Aviwe Mtila, for example, is contesting the president in the upcoming conference? What does it say about the conference even?
The conference is a democratic platform. There is nothing threatening about leaders contesting for a position. Aviwe Mtila has been nominated by branches. He's on the ballot. He has been lobbying for himself, and the structures have been supporting him. In terms of his lobby, we are going to a conference, and we have preferences. We have reasons why the president must continue. And then there is nothing wrong about that. The conference will bury the issue of contestation. Who at the present moment, from the look of things, the president is destined to retain his position, but it is up to the structures. You lobby till the end. There is nothing undemocratic about members contesting for a particular position. So in this instance, we are left with 3-4 days. We will be in conference. And then members will vote. Structures have already pronounced. They've told us what is their preferences. So it's lobbying, left and right. So lobbying does not mean we must character assassinate each other. It means we allow members, we allow to be engaged by structures and put our views across. We need to be decent and maintain the decorum. Go to a conference, contest. Those who lose must accept the outcome of the conference, because that will be the wishes of the branches of the ANC.
All right, thank you very much. Head of Elections of the African National Congress, as well, of course, as the Transport Minister, Fikile Mbalula, just sharing some sentiments as you know that heated caucus that was underway. At about 11 o'clock, some of these members coming in now, but of course, we have been reliably informed that senior members of the party said that they will not toe the party line. Some of them being your Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Dr. Aviwe Mtila, Lindiwe Sisulu, and Supra Mahumapilo. Those are the ones that said that you might have bullied us, we are told, at the NEC meeting, but this is not the NEC meeting. We will follow our conscience and vote how we feel it's right. Of course, there is also the issue of those that vote with the opposition party or vote with their consciences in the African National Congress, and what will happen to them. Gwete Mandashe, the national chairperson of the African National Congress, made it clear that there will be dire consequences, even though they're not painted out at the stage. But of course, you look at the possibility of being excluded, suspended or expelled from the party, which would mean that you no longer also a member of parliament, because you're only a member of parliament at the behest of the party. That would have dire consequences for your finances, Maseko, the perks that come with being a member of parliament. So a lot of these ANC members, even if they did want to vote with their conscience, have a lot to think about. There's a lot at stake for them, as we've been having those conversations outside. While there are those bolder senior leaders that have spoken out, some of them that have kept mum have done so knowing that if they are to not toe the party line, it will have catastrophic impacts on their livelihoods as well. But we're now edging closer, of course, to 2 p.m. where we're expecting the parliamentary process to be underway, and of course we're expecting these MPs to vote. I can spot a member of parliament from the IFP trying to get word here. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. We're minutes away from that crucial debate that will determine the president's fate in terms of the investigations going into the Phala Phala farm theft saga by parliament. Yeah. I want your sentiments. I mean, we're hearing the bell ring now, and we're hearing the divisions in the ANC when it comes to this matter. IFP, have any of your members firstly been threatened in any way to vote one way or the other?
No, not at all. In fact, as the IFP, we are united in our force to say that we support the report. We have no reason not to support the report because there's no other evidence placed before us to indicate that the report, there's something wrong with the report. However, we want to give the president an opportunity And I think this is the Audi ultra partem rule. The president and other organs that may have been implicated in this Phala Phala saga to come before committee and parliament and tell us exactly what happened. We do not think that South Africans know the whole story as yet.
Don't you think then Parliament is ahead of itself by having this motion and the vote debated now when the president is taking it to court? There's that review process in court, and should it find that in fact the president is right and there's no merit for the Section 89 report, that would rewind and undo whatever is done here, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I don't see why we are doing what we are doing today. I mean, Parliament should not have done it. We should have waited for the application. But the sub judice rule, which normally applies when there's legal, challenges, will not apply here because there's nothing directly related to what we are doing here today. I think today is a show of strength, possibly or possibly not by the ruling party, because they've been directed to vote in a particular way. So they're trying to say to us as Parliament, we reject this report, and we are saying we will support the report.
All right, thank you very much. IFP member there, as the bell rings now, that suggests that we have to be inside ourselves, of course, to bring you that coverage of the debate. A show of power, we are told, yeah. And of course, it will prove very crucial for the ANC themselves. As we do know, out of the 400 parliamentary members, 230 of them belong to the African National Congress. They have the majority, but then how will they party members vote? Will they toe the party line and indeed reject this report, or will they vote with a conscience, which would mean that they are going sideways, not following the party itself, and those dire consequences that were promised have to be met?
All right, senior reporter Aviwe Mtila outside City Hall, getting, some of the MPs who are going into that debate to tell him how they will vote. It's about, 7 minutes to go before Parliament starts debating this particular issue, and I have to go home to be able to watch it. So that's it from myself and the All Angles team for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again, of course, tomorrow. Bradan Mayani is standing by to give you news on today from 2 p.m.